Yeah.
My name's Rob Mcgowan with Life Radio. I'm here today with...
Shawn McCarthy, the Executive Director for the Friends of Beaubears Island.
Yes, Beaubears Island. Jeez, I've been going there for years. I love that place. We've been getting together a few times over the last while, talking about different promotions going on. How did you get into setting up and working and doing Beaubears?
Well, in 2001, they were looking for somebody that would interview there. I was just a student. I was in grade 10 at the time. I just left grade 10. They were looking for somebody that would kind of come in and stay for a couple of years. And, well, 19 summers later, here I am. So maybe I kind of went... took the joke too seriously and kind of went too long with it, but who knows. But yeah, so that's how I got involved, and then over time I became quite a bit more involved in kind of the operations aspect of it, going from just being kind of a summer student to in kind of the management structure, and then in 2015 I applied and became the executive director.
Wow. So I've been to Beaubears, and you go across the island and stuff, so you know all the history of the island? Like, what's the history behind the island itself?
Well, the island has been inhabited for, well, centuries and millennia, really. So the First Nations, the Mcgowan people, have been on the island since time immemorial, really. They refer to it as Go'miniguk, or Island of the Pines. It's a very appropriate name because white pine is still the dominant tree over there. So they use it as a meeting place. Of course, at the forks of both branches of the river, it was a great place to meet and exchange information and exchange goods and so on and so forth. They were joined by the French in 1669 when they established a fort and trading post on one side of the island on the mainland, and a mission station on the other side of the island for religious missionaries. So, and then in 1756, somewhere between 800 and as many as 1,500 Acadians came to Beaubears Island and Wilson's Point, fleeing the deportation. And then from 1788 until 1866, we know of at least 50 ships that were built on the island. So today the island is recognized twice as a National Historic Site, once for its involvement in the deportation as part of Comte d'Espérance, the largest Acadian refuge in the province of New Brunswick, and the is also recognized for its importance to shipbuilding, as being the last totally untouched and unexplored shipbuilding site left in New Brunswick today.
Wow, that's incredible. So, yeah, I never knew all that. I went over there and I thought there were people inhabited, but...
Well, I'm restraining myself, Rob. I mean, I could probably go on.
Oh, yeah, I know. There's all kinds of stuff. It could be a 2-day interview. Did you bring a lunch?
Yeah, that's it, exactly. That's it. No question about it.
So, how did it get involved? Like, so if I'm a tourist,
sure,
and I come there, I know you go in and you have that sort of, it's like a museum kind of thing you go through?
Absolutely.
So how did that get involved with?
So we started in 2000. So the Friends of Beaubears Island was set up in 1999 to preserve, promote, and interpret the two National Historic Sites. Okay. So in 2000, they started doing tours over there. In 2004, we opened our first interpretive center on that site. That expanded in 2009. So that museum now deals with not only the history of the island, but also the history of the village of Nelson, where we're situated, to kind of tell that story as well. Because again, I mean, we want to be good neighbors, and we want to tell the story of all of our, the community that we're in.
Of course, yeah.
Which is really tied to the island for so many years. So that's really how that started. And today you can go in, and it's really kind of the launch point of all of your experiences is the museum and the interpretive center. So we've got 75 artifacts that link to Nelson and the island in some way or another that you can see there. And and like I say, a lot of interactive displays and touch screens and things of that nature as well.
Wow, yeah, I know, and it's gotten better each year, I've noticed. Now, I noticed there's all kinds of community things go on there too, like I was just talking to Lloyd, a friend of mine there, but they get together and they have these, I guess, picnics and gatherings and special days for different organizations and different... How did that come about?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, we're like the Beatles, right? We could buy with a little help from our friends. So, that's it. I mean, we can't do what we do without the partners and the friends that we have. So whether it be our partners in government, federally, provincially, and municipally, whether it be Parks Canada, who of course we work with very closely because of the National Historic Site designation, or again, local community groups, so the Rotary clubs, the Highland Society, who we work really close with, Carrefour Beausoleil, the Historical Society, again, all of those, and to local businesses and, radio stations,
yes, of course,
like yourselves, help us out and kind of get that. So what we try to do is, throughout our season, to have some events that are, again, picnics or just local things for local folks. If people from away come, so much the better. But it's really kind of gauged to, again, show our appreciation to the community. So whether it's our big picnic that we have every year over on the island, whether it's our music every Sunday in the park, which is free of charge. You can just go over and listen for a couple of hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's every Sunday?
Every Sunday,
Wow.
so from July till the end of September.
See, I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
That's all great stuff to know.
That's it. So
We're always looking for something to go do, but if you got, because I always go sit in that park. I don't know why. I just love it down there. It's a nice view across to the island and stuff like that.
You get a nice breeze in the summertime too, so it's not too hot down.
It's a great spot. I don't know why, but I just always liked that spot. You
Yeah.
guys seem to hit the perfect place to be.
Yeah.
Now, you also, I remember, I don't know if you guys still do it, but we used to go, there was a canoe ride we used to do.
Yeah.
Is that all the time, or is that just a once a year thing?
No,
or?
it's we partnered with Canoe Kayak New Brunswick in 2010, and in those days it was just sort of a reservation. But with the help of the city, we've been able to turn that program into a daily program.
Oh,
so
really?
July and August every day, you can go out in the canoe and you can take a tour around the island. We try to kind of make it pretty customizable. If you want to go around the island, if you want to stop on the island, you want to explore the trails on the island, if you want to kind of take a trip out toward the Strawberry Marsh or whatever the case may be, we can do that. So you can be out paddling with us.
Oh,
now,
wow.
of course, you can't go out by yourself. You always have to go out with our guides. But the benefit of that is our interpretive team, can tell you stories and kind of relate different things as we go around.
Yeah, so that's what I was kind of getting at. So if I have a relative come down, and you're thinking, what can I do with this relative? We can take them down to Beaubears.
Absolutely.
We can go out for a canoe ride,
Yeah.
or we can go on the tour on the boat to the island and do the. Now, tell me about that. I know on the island, that was another thing. There was people with costumes, and they were telling the story and all
Sure.
that. So how did that come about?
So in 2002, Parks Canada came to us and said, what you should do with your tours is kind of have characters. It makes it, quite a bit more interactive, and it's, you can bring the audience into it an awful lot more. So, we've had tours with only a couple of characters. We've had tours with 20 some odd characters, depending upon volunteers and people that come out to help us out. So now we still do that today. Every day in July and August, we have our tours through time. So at 2 o'clock, we have a 2-hour tour. It takes you to Wilson's Point. You get to see the monument to the Acadians there, the replica of the first Presbyterian church, and then of course, the first British graveyard in Miramichi. And then, of course, you go over to the island, you see the remnants of the old shipbuilding operation and the vestiges of, I guess, the old buildings and things that are there, the foundations. And, of course, you get to see our characters. So this year, what we're going to try to do is kind of do things a little bit differently, try to focus more on communities than on individuals. So to kind of talk about the people that lived over there and what did they do, what kind of lives did they lead, and kind of take you on a more in-depth journey into what that was like, what life on Beaubears Island and Wilson's Point was like through the lens of a single character who's going to try, in as much as they can, to bring you into the story as well as a guest.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
try to,
That's
yeah, exactly, to give you kind of your own, for lack of a better word, your own role to play in that story. Whether or not you're going to dress up or not, probably not. But but you could. We've got all kinds of costumes. But that's it. To kind of relate to you as somebody that is part of the story with them.
Give you a better understanding.
Absolutely. As opposed to just kind of addressing you like there's a wall between you and I, to kind of bring you into the story with me.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think that's a new wrinkle that we're adding this year. I'm really excited about the opportunity to do that.
So is it like you pick one of those things to do? There's an all-day pass thing. Is it how
well,
does that all work out?
Most folks just do,
one of the events?
One of them. But, I mean,
Okay.
you can definitely do, all of them if you so choose.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's open every day of the week?
Every day of the week.
Every day of the week. So it doesn't matter when your relatives come, you got something to
Yeah,
some
exactly.
reason to take them away.
Every day of the week, July, August, and September. So
Yeah.
in June, we're closed on Sundays.
Okay.
But,
Sure.
but
That makes sense.
Yeah.